Hey guys, it's Lotus and welcome back to my channel. Today we are here for another bullet journal setup, and this month's theme was decided super last minute, but I hope you all still enjoy it. So I went for a doodly, colorful theme this month, showcasing stars and sparkles, and as you'll see soon, I used some really vibrant colors to make it a lot more interesting. So for the cover page, I drew out July in these big bubble letter font. And then I added some drop shadows to give it some more dimension. And for this theme, I wanted everything to be kind of randomly placed, so I just scattered the stars and sparkles and little lightning bolt shapes around, and I drew them in different sizes. And I decided to go for like a little pattern where it looks like it's sweeping from one side of the page to the other, so I'm just filling it in with a bunch of different doodles in different sizes all around the lettering. To color everything in, this month I used one of my red mild liners as the main accent color. So that's the color I used to color in the July font on every page. And I really like how it looked. I think it's a really nice, fun, vibrant pop of color for the summer. So here I'm just coloring in the title. And then moving on for the little doodles, I decided to use a variety of different markers. So for the larger sparkle shapes, I am using one of my Arteza brush pens in this like light blue color, and I'm just coloring in those sparkles. And then for the lightning bolt, I am using one of my just yellow Crayola super tips. And then I had this fun idea of doing the larger stars in kind of a rainbow, because I also had seen the rainbow stars, and I guess like with Pride Month being last month, I saw a lot of like rainbow and colorful inspiration, so I know this theme doesn't really match with the month in terms of like the rainbow, but I still wanted to do it, also because I had no clue what to do for this month. So yeah, I did the rainbow stars kind of to be the main decorative element. And then for the other smaller sparkles and stars that were scattered on the page, I used my metallic jelly rolls to color in the tiny sparkles silver, and then the bigger 5-pointed stars in this metallic copper color. Moving on to the quote page, I absolutely fell in love with this quote when I watched Stray Kids' new music video that came out last Friday called Mixtape A. This quote showed up twice, or maybe more in the music video, but it says, "Dreams come true to those who truly want them," and I thought that was such a inspirational and motivational quote, and it was just so beautiful. And I listened to the song so much on the day it came out, and I just really loved the music video. It was kind of iconic for all stays because Hyunjin reappeared in it for the first time in like months. But anyway, that's where I found this quote from, and I decided to use it in this month's bullet journal setup. And so I'm just adding the same doodles all around it, and I decided to throw in these random clouds just to help fill in the space a little more. But I'm basically doing the same thing, adding the stars, sparkles, and little lightning bolt doodles all around the page. And this time I decided to fill up the whole page since, I don't know, for the quote page I just wanted it to be a lot more complete looking. So here I am just coloring in the quote with the same red mild liner. And then I'm just using the same markers I mentioned earlier to color in all of the other elements on the page. So now we are moving on to the calendar. The calendar was also really fun to do, so again I am using the same lettering that I did for the cover page to do the little July title on the upper left-hand corner of the calendar spread. So I drew out the same bubble letters and I'm adding the drop shadow, and then I'm using my ruler to draw out the grid boxes for the calendar. I decided to go back to a more basic calendar layout this time, so it's just my regular 6x6 grid. And I'm just writing in the days of the week at the top. And then I started to do the doodles all around again. I had drawn out some of the bigger doodles, like the placement where I wanted them in advance, but then I kind of just randomly did the smaller doodles to fill in the space once I positioned everything and once I had kind of like started drawing already, just to save some time, and also because I wanted it to be like random and just fill in like in the moment, I guess. This theme definitely does have a little like cartoony, like doodly style, which I think is really cool, and I haven't actually done something like this before, so it was a little different for me, but I actually really loved the way it looked. So now it is time to color, so I'm using my mild liner to color in the title again. And then I decided to use all 5 of the colors to do the date bubbles for the calendar. So here I'm just alternating all the colors of the rainbow that I use for rainbow stars. And I did mess up in one spot where I didn't add any blue in the 3rd row, but it's okay. You can't really notice it, and it still looks pretty cool and cohesive together. So yeah, now I'm just coloring everything in and making the spread look as complete as I can. And then I'm adding in the dates, the numbers of the dates. Moving on to the next set of spreads, this month I opted to not do any trackers because even though I thought I could get myself to use them, I just have not been. I'm just super lazy with my bullet journal nowadays, so I decided to just do another playlist spread because I've really been enjoying those and I've been listening to a lot of new stuff lately. So here I just drew playlist out in the same bubble letter font, and then I wrote in all the songs I've been listening to currently. A new discovery of mine has been Astro, and I really like some of their songs. I was listening to it a lot when I went away. So yeah, they're a new addition to my playlist. And then also Bam Bam and Yugyeom from GOT7 recently had solo comebacks and they have been so good, so I had to add them on the list as well. And on the other half of the spread, I decided to make a memories page. Last year and in previous years, I always used to add a memories page and write down things that happened to me. And since the world has been opening up and I'm starting to make plans and go out more, I thought a memories page would be really nice to kind of start writing down all the memories that I make with my friends and family and like anything that I do by myself. So now we are just adding color again to the spread. I often find it sometimes hard to make all my spreads look consistent in the theme, but this time it was really easy because I used the same font, I used the same markers and colors, and I just really liked the way it turned out. And so for the playlist spread this time, I was able to print out the album cover arts. I know last month's setup, when I tried to draw and color in the cover art, it was so hard and it took like a long time and it didn't come out like exactly as nice as I would have liked it to be. But this time I was able to print them out, so here I'm just cutting out all of the album arts and pasting them into my bullet journal. Then I'm just finishing up the second half of the spread by coloring in the title for the memories page and then coloring all of the doodles in as well. Now we are moving on to the weekly spread. I decided to keep the weekly spread really simple this week because for this first week of July, I don't really have much going on and I just wanted something that would be really simple to set up. I think this theme with the doodly stars and sparkles will be really easy to make cool looking weekly spreads, so I'm excited to do ones for the future weeks, but for this time I just did the standard 8 boxes, one with the doodles and like which week it is, and then I did one box for each day of the week. I decided to use a little star to write the day of the week in it, like the date, and then I used these colorful sidebars at the bottom to write the day. And I decided to keep with like the rainbow pattern. I think it looks really cool, and it definitely has that kind of like animated and doodly and fun, I don't know, effect. So I really like how it turned out. And then I thought it looked a little plain with just the star in the center, so I decided to add some more doodles around at the top of the boxes. So I added some more like tiny stars and sparkles, and some of them have little lightning bolts. And then I just wrote in the day of the week at the bottom in the color block, and then just colored in all of those doodles as well. And then I felt like the page looked a lot more like fun and interesting and more complete this way. And that is it for this month's setup. I really like how this July theme turned out. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to follow me on Instagram at Lotus Sparkle to see more pictures of the spreads throughout the month. And I'm also starting to make little bullet journal TikToks, so be sure to check that out as well. It's also at Lotus Sparkle. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!